Stevens, thank you so much for joining us today. Introduce us to yourself and your company.
Thank you very much, Kaylin, for inviting me. My name is Stevens. I'm the founder and CEO of FeedCoyote. And FeedCoyote is a networking and collaboration app that connects freelancers around the world so that they can collaborate on third-party projects together and make money.
Very cool. So, you mentioned in our community channel that you've seen a lot of growth this past year. You have some marketing tips to share with us today, but over 500% growth in 1 year is massive. And I'm sure you and your team are celebrating like crazy. What are some of the biggest factors that drove that level of user acquisition?
Yeah, last year for us has been a pretty good year. We spent a lot of time talking to our customers, understanding where they were coming from so that we can implement strategies to double down on those areas. So what we're able to do, as you mentioned, we grew over 500% in the last 12 months from around 10,000 users to now almost 80,000. So we're very excited about that growth. That shows a lot of demand for the platform that we're building, and really, what we were able to achieve is basically empowering the users of the platform to become basically our first marketing department. What that means is we give the users opportunities to really enjoy the platform, to earn on the platform, also to manage their freelance business. And as a result, they felt really happy to just share about that platform to their own audiences. And that's how we're able to grow so fast because users were bringing on more users for us.
How do you equip them? Do you give them anything or equip them in any way for that sharing and to facilitate that word of mouth or
Yeah.
incentivize?
Yes, definitely. We use something called PLG strategy, which is product-led growth strategy, where basically you give the users of the platform opportunities to upgrade to premium features if they invite other people. And those premium features are things that will make their business more successful or will make their productivity much better. So we allow them to have access to those tools on our platform. And in return, they just have to share our platform with other freelancers and allow them to also take advantage of those opportunities on our platform.
And I'm sure it's super easy to share when a platform solves so many of your problems and makes your life so much better.
Yes, yes, this is exactly what we wanted to do when we started building Feed Coyote, is bringing a community of freelancers that is scattered into one place so that they can help each other collaborate and network and grow together as a community within one platform.
So I can imagine that if one of the biggest selling points of the platform is in part community, then naturally people will want to bring in more of their community here to see them here in this community with them.
Exactly, because you have that support system. And if you can manage all your resources in one place, it makes your productivity even better. So instead of being on multiple platforms, platforms for freelance, networking, platforms, productivity tools, the platform for management of projects, we centralize all that for you on Feed Coyote. So now you have one platform that takes care of everything for you, and you are more productive. You have more opportunities to earn, hence also build a community around you to support you on your journey.
So, looking back, what is a marketing strategy that you used in the past year that maybe you underestimated at the outset, but turned out to be a game changer?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell the story about Feed Coyote and the way that we're able to grow our user base because in the early days, we're still figuring out what's working, what's not working, and understand our customers in our market. And at that time, it was not growing as fast as it's growing right now because we're not at a point where we could really understand the strategies to implement. But as time went by, we understood that and would become better at what we do. So one of the things that we really worked on last year was our branding to make Feed Coyote the platform that users will think about anytime they think about freelance collaboration. Because in the market right now, you find a lot of freelance platforms, but they are not really addressing that community approach that we took at Feed Coyote. It's usually a client provider dynamic and a marketplace dynamic. And it's a lot of competition, which is also good because that's also improving with the talents that you're getting and everybody's on their A game, giving their very best. But also at FreeCaD, we believe that collaboration is the way to go because that will unlock collective earnings for our users. So that's what we are basically creating a new segment within the freelance ecosystem so that we can foster freelance collaboration.
You've grown across 130 plus
Yeah.
countries. How do you approach global expansion differently from just local or regional growth?
It's basically understand where your audience is coming from, which countries are responding to the product the most, understand why, and also understand how you can improve in those countries, hence increase your user base there. When we first launched, we were primarily in the US, but at that time we saw there was a lot of demand for signups from other countries. So we decided to understand where those countries, where freelancers are in those countries, if the market was big there and all that. So eventually we've decided to open up the app to everybody. So as we did that, we realized that's what we needed to do to grow. And from there, we grew really, really fast, now to almost 80,000 users. So when we understand which country is really promoting freelancing, so we can position ourselves there as a market leader in those areas and also give the opportunity for people that are not only exploring freelancing, but also that are fully professional and freelancing to help each other so that they can all earn together on one platform. So we've had a lot of success in Africa, a lot of success in India. We're growing also in Latin America and in Europe. So I'm very glad to see how the platform was received around the world. And when you check social media, you see testimonies about from users about the platform and how they are using it and how that's improving their freelancing gigs and their project management tools and everything. So it's very great to see that something that we build is bringing so much value to folks around the world.
That's amazing. And I'm sure your community, as it expands in this diversity and global diversity, is just exploding with new ideas and perspectives. I'm sure it's really beautiful to be a part of that growing community too.
Yes, it's very exciting to see that from where we started to now to see the engagement on the app and how users are connecting with each other, how they are sharing resources in the platform and using our productivity tools. It's very beautiful to see.
So I know that a lot of startups struggle with user retention as they scale. What is working for you to keep users engaged and coming back?
Yeah, is the community approach that we took at FeedCoyote. That's what really accelerated our growth over the last few months. Is initially we were primarily productivity tool kind of platform for freelancers, but what we realized was a lot of freelancers already had access to such tools, but they did not have access to dedicated communities of freelancers. And a lot of the feedback that we received from our early users was they would love to be connected to other freelancers to understand their fields and learn from them. So what we did was we built a network type of layer on top of our productivity tools that now allow every user on the platform to be connected to each other. And now they're not working in silos anymore. So now it's much easier for them to find any help or get any support on their freelancing journey. And from there, it just went crazy. Not only we're getting more users, but also the engagement is a lot there as well because of the community approach that we took by building this platform.
So it's really cool to see that a lot of your recent growth is in part, yes, to implementing new marketing strategies, but also just opening up pathways for new users to come who are already knocking at your door or like implementing new features that people are asking for. I think that that speaks to the success of what you've built so far, that people are asking for more and you just open the doors and then you have new clients.
Yes, definitely. We make it very easy for freelancers to onboard. This is something in our platform when we were designing it is was to how easy uh it is for users to onboard, to understand the platform and also to start getting value right away. So it's something that every day we're refining, every day we're trying to find new ways to make it even simpler and simpler and simpler because we've tried a lot of platforms, and one of the struggles is it's extremely hard to understand them. Yes, the platforms sometimes bring value, but the customers don't either get enough time to get to that value because the onboarding was too complicated or it took too long. So this is something that we really sat down as a team to understand how do we make it easy for freelancers to onboard, to understand the platform, and to start getting any value from it right away.
So let's say that you were starting over today. If you had to scale a new product to 10,000 users,
Mhm.
what's the first couple of moves you'd make?
That's a really good question. Now that I've done that for a few years now, um, I would definitely start with the PLG strategy that we've implemented. I wish I had started earlier with that because that's where we started seeing that exponential growth is allowing users to invite other users. And by doing so, they can unlock more value on the platform. This is something that I think that if we had implemented that much earlier in the process, we would have probably gotten more users by now.
Mm.
So if I were to start a new company now, if it depends on the kind of product that you're building, whether it's B2C or B2B, and in some aspect, the PLG would work much better in certain categories. So that's something that I would definitely explore as a first step for growth.
What would you avoid?
Ugh, what would I avoid? Uh, I mean, I guess it depends on what we're talking about exactly because as you build a startup there are different things that you need to take care of like marketing, product management, product development, investment, and all that. So I think I would probably spend even more time talking to our customers to really understand their pain points because there are some features that we build along the way that we realize were not needed. So we had to get more feedback and understand why they were not needed and understand how we can change them and which one should we replace and all that. So definitely doing an even more thorough investigation on our user base would probably be another thing that I would look into. Yeah.
Is there anything so we talked before about something that you didn't expect to be super beneficial that was. On the flip side, was there anything that you did that you thought, "Oh, this is for sure gonna be a home run," but maybe actually flopped?
Yes, a lot of things. I had a very different perspective about building a startup when I first started. Because as a founder, you have a great idea. You want to get it out there. You watch a lot of movies and shows about startups. It's usually the glamorous part of it that they show you on TV. They don't really show you the struggles, and it's hard. It's extremely hard. So when I started this, I went at it from a Silicon Valley perspective. I thought the moment that we launched, we are gonna have 10 million users sign up like right away. It was not like that. It was brutal to get to this amount. It was crazy, but it was an exciting learning opportunity as well because I've learned so much doing this. Yeah, this is something that I would say going at it from a Silicon Valley perspective is probably one of the things that I would have probably avoid now if I were to start a new company because it's extremely hard. It's not gonna happen the way you think it would happen. In most cases, most or all of your assumptions would fail, and you would have to adapt to the market, to adapt to how users are using the platform. Because in our case, our current version of the app right now is based on feedback that we've received along the way. It's not what we really set out to build as a product. The vision was still there in terms of fostering freelance collaboration, but the way we went at it was redefined by the way that the early users were using the platform. And now, as we've changed things along the way, now we have the current version now that's really ready to capture the growth that we're currently seeing. So I'd say probably as a founder, what you think would work would probably not work until you hit market. And then you understand now what to change and what to do differently.
What about yourself? How are you different than you were when you first started out?
I think I've learned a lot. I really, really love startups. I love building products. It's exciting to see that you build something and people are actually using it and you're bringing value to them. It's it's an incredible feeling, you know? It's like, wow, did I really do this? You know? So that's so cool to see. So this is something that I'm very privileged and I feel honored that I was given the opportunity to do that, to build a company, to build a product that people are using and we're still growing and all that. So I think I've changed a lot in terms of the things that I've learned in a way of how to build businesses in an efficient way, how to build products. It's something that I've realized that I really, really love is building products, is designing user flows and all that because I build product from a user perspective is how would I use it if I were to use this platform? Would I understand from the moment that I sign up? I'm very, very obsessed with the customer journey because that can make or break your product. It's something that I spend a lot of time on. So I think now I'm a full product manager, product developer, marketing expert. So as a founder, you do a little bit of everything. So that helps you improve your market value, in terms of a professional and in terms of a founder as well. So I'd also say I'm a much better CEO today than I was when I first started that, because I've had the opportunity to work with folks from around the world. Our team is global. So I work with people from different backgrounds, different countries, different time zone. So knowing how to adapt to their style of working to get the best out of them as your teammate, as your coworkers, is something that I've had to learn along the way. So I'm definitely much better in that as I was when I first started this journey.
What were some of the biggest mindset shifts that were necessary for you to go from grinding mode to scaling?
Oh, the grind never stops. You're always in the details, you're always building, always thinking about what to improve and how to scale faster and all that. But I think what's changed for me is how to be more efficient about it. How to structure my day, how to structure the things that I think about. I try to make one or two good decisions every day that's gonna advance our progress and the company. So that's something I really try really hard to do, because I truly believe that progress is everything. Because as a founder, we don't usually see the progress that we make along the way, because we want to hit the top of the mark of the mountain. We don't really see how we climbing, right? So I try to do something that's gonna keep us progressing in the right direction, so that as long as you keep moving, you're progressing if you're moving forward. So this is something that I try to do every day, be more efficient about how I make decisions, about the decisions that I make for the company, and how that's going to overall impact our mission and what we're trying to build for freelancers.
I love that, and I wanna dig a little bit more into it. What does a good decision look or feel like?
It's a really good question, because um, the way I look at it is the decision that I make, would that lead to the next step in our progress? That's how I look at it, whether it's from a marketing perspective, product development, strategic partnerships, whatever it is. If I make this decision, would that lead to something else that's going to help the company? So, in terms of, for example, marketing, if we were to launch a new growth hacks within the app, so it's like, okay, if we were to do that, how many users can we expect from that in terms of growth? Would that even work? So, trying to calculate the best probability of success on all those decisions is something that I do. I have an economics background, so I do that a lot. So I trying to find the decisions with the best probability of success, and hoping that they would work, and then make those decisions. And sometimes it doesn't work because things change, the market changes, and the way the customers react to the decisions that you make and the product will change. But it's a learning path as well. So I try to get better at it every day. But in my mind, I try to make at least one good decision a day that's going to help our mission and that's going to help our product in some way.
You're doing a million different things as CEO. How do you find, I guess, work-life balance as a CEO? How do you maintain your own mental health as you're spreading yourself thin in all these other areas?
Work life.
Or have you mastered that yet?
I don't think that's a thing.
No,
I don't think that's a thing in the early. I feel like I work 24/7
yeah.
personally, because I'm always thinking about something for the company. I'm always thinking about a feature to implement, something to remove, somebody to reach out to ask for advice, or, something. So technically I'm never off, even if I'm not in front of a computer. So for early stage startups, I think it's extremely hard for founders to achieve work-life balance, because you're working on so many things all at once, and at any given time, something is going wrong, and you got to fix, build, and improve all at the same time. So it's extremely, extremely hard to do. And that's why you'll find a lot of founders that will be extremely sometimes tired and it's mentally exhausted, or they would deal with some, you know, mental health issues at some point, because it's so hard. It's so much that you have to deal with every day. So it's something that I'm learning on how to deal with, and how to manage that. But it's an everyday learning, basically. So it's it's tough.
So you kind of just learn to expand your capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is understand what can you do now and how what you can do now can impact the company and also help you become a better CEO and keep you sane at the same time. So it's extremely hard to achieve that, you know?
Maybe startup founders are all a little insane, and that's what makes them so
Yes,
successful.
I think so too, because you have to be insane to decide, yeah, I'm gonna build a company and I'm gonna dedicate 10 years of my life to do so. And if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna do something else and over again until I find something that works. So it's yeah, I'll say that too. Founders are insane. That's the only way I think I can describe it.
So, where is Speed Coyote headed next? What's your some of your next big goals?
Oh yes, we have a lot of things that we're currently working on now that we're excited about. We are currently building version 6 of the app right now. We've built 5 versions so far that helped us understand the early users, our growth phase, and now that's where we're currently at. So now that we understand that, the features that are being used the most, the ones that users are requesting the most, and things like that. So now we're currently building that iteration so that we can provide an even better experience to our users. So I'm very excited about the new launch that's coming up pretty soon. We're also in our growth phase right now as well. So we're growing rapidly. So I'm excited to cross 100,000 users on the app very soon as well. And our goal is really to reach millions of freelancers around the world because the market itself is extremely big. You have 1.5 billion freelancers globally right now, and it's growing rapidly at double digits year over year. So more people are getting into the freelance economy, are becoming more independent and launching their own freelance business. And we want to position ourselves as a company that can support them on that journey. So we have a lot of things that we're building, and at the same time, we're growing our user base massively. So pretty soon, FeedCoyote will have millions of users using it around the world. I'd say um, if you want to start your own business, you need to understand that you need to do it for the right reason because it's extremely hard and it's not gonna be overnight success. I think that's one thing that we see when we go online on LinkedIn, everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, movies. It's when you're successful. That's the part that they show in the movie. They don't show the grind and the journey that takes years and years and years. So I'd advise to anybody that want to start a business, this is awesome because if you want to do it, you're already a winner because it's so hard that not everybody is doing it. But make sure that you're doing it for the right reason and that you also want to solve a problem that other people have that you think that you can contribute to being the solution of that. So that's one thing that I would say for folks that would like to start a new business, startups or companies, or for the founders that are actually in the grind already, is like keep at it, keep at it, find ways to see it through. I usually say there's no way out but through. Like you have to see it through. Like it's gonna take years. It's gonna take a lot of learnings. It's gonna take a lot of iterations, but keep at it. Eventually, you'll succeed. If you keep making progress every day, eventually you'll get to the top of the mountain.
This has been such a pleasure. What a treat to talk with you. We've
Thank
met
you.
briefly every now and then, but this was a real joy to get to know you a little bit better and hear your story.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's I'm always excited to talk about Free Coyote and what we're building. And also it's nice to have a conversation about the founder also because I don't usually have that kind of conversations. It's usually about the business, how it's going, the metrics and everything. So it's always nice to take a minute to be like, how are you doing as a founder? You know, that kind of pause. I remember being at Sprocket in the early days and wondering if this is gonna work and how can we make it better. And it's been a grind since then. We've learned a lot and we've changed a lot, and now it's growing. So I'm excited to see where we're gonna go next.
Do you ever wish that you could go back to those early days?
They were brutal, brutal, but they were also the foundations of what we needed to be where we are today. So I think it was also part of the journey.
Well, we here at Sprocket and in Western Kentucky are cheering you on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Stevens. It was a joy to chat with you today.
Nice chatting with you as well.